How's it going, everybody? Hope everyone is doing well. My name's Sebastian Sam. I work at LinkedIn, and I'm an account executive. I've been working at LinkedIn about 7 years now. We'll be connecting here and offline, so feel free to reach out. And I'm also joined by my friend Zach. Zach, you want to give a quick intro?
Hey, how's everyone doing today? Although I can't see you, I'm super happy to be here with Sebastian. As Sebastian mentioned, my name's Zach Joyner. I'm also an account executive here at LinkedIn as a part of our search and staffing team. So I work with search and staffing companies to identify talent, identify talent and place talent, as well as grow their business, as well as working with individuals like yourself to onboard athletes to the LinkedIn platform.
All right, so today we'll be talking about the power of LinkedIn for current and former athletes. We know most people on the call are former athletes, so we'll be tailoring this discussion to y'all. But the power of LinkedIn, I thought I would share a little bit about myself. The power of LinkedIn was unleashed to me when I was graduating from college. I was a two-time All-American in track at Berkeley. I thought I was going pro for sure. I worked my whole life to make the Olympics in 2012, and I ended up tearing my hamstring. And many of you probably heard a story similar to this. But one of the things that stuck out during that time was LinkedIn. LinkedIn was this job posting platform. It was a place to find jobs. And someone recommended it to me. And I logged in and I said, wow, this is cool. I have a place where I can connect with people. Great. I need a job. At that time, there were around 80 million people on the platform, and all I did is send a million connection requests. There's probably like a dozen connection requests a day asking former Cal Berkeley athletes, hey, I see you work at Apple. I'm trying to transition. Can you help me? I need an informational interview. So the power of LinkedIn was really unleashed to me at that time. And fast forward years later, I ended up landing a job. Been at LinkedIn 7 years. But I'm hoping to share some of these best practices with you all today. But I'll leave it to Zach. Why is LinkedIn relevant to you today? What does the power of LinkedIn mean to you?
Yep. Story's a little bit different. I didn't have the same talents as Sebastian over here to have the opportunity to go to the Olympics, by no means. But my story about LinkedIn and why I'm at LinkedIn and the power of it for me today is I grew up in a single parent household. And as growing up, I feel like my mother sacrificed our economic stability for economic opportunity, which aligns closely to our vision at LinkedIn of creating economic opportunity for every member of the global workforce. So when I had the opportunity to move over to LinkedIn, I actually started at LinkedIn in my early career as an intern out of college. And what I was able to see from LinkedIn was the power of the platform and how it truly changed not only my life, my friends' lives, as well as other individuals that I worked with on the member side as well. So really being at LinkedIn, I've seen the platform just be so impactful to other individuals. And I really, truly believe that it is a platform that can help all individuals accomplish what they're looking to achieve. And as someone that grew up playing both basketball and tennis at a competitive level, high school, as well as college as well, I've seen that opportunity, and working with athletes in the past, I've seen how powerful it can be in helping them achieve their goals, not only on the court, but off the court as well.
Once an athlete, always an athlete. And I think that's what helps us resonate with you all, both as still trying to be an athlete and a former athlete. But we'll be talking about 4 things today. We'll talk about why even using LinkedIn is important. Number 2, we'll talk about building a rock star profile. What should your profile even look like as a former athlete? And 3, we'll talk about powerful use cases that you may not be aware of today. And then we'll open the floor to questions. So feel free to put some questions in the chat. Zach and I will maybe offer up a couple to get the conversation started. So let's go to the next slide, please. So when we think about why LinkedIn, First, take a look at these numbers. I mentioned earlier in 2012, we had around 80 million people on the platform. Nowadays, we're close to 800 million. These numbers keep growing by the day. But when you think of your relationship to these 756 million members on the platform, LinkedIn needed a way to come up with a chart to show your relationship to them. We call this the economic graph. The economic graph makes up all of LinkedIn's members. It makes up all of LinkedIn's companies that have a profile on the site, all of the jobs that exist on the platform, the skills that each one of us maintain. Are you good at PowerPoint, right? Are you a leader? Are you great at communication? And then the schools that we attended. If you haven't done so already, type in the name of your university, type in the name of the company you work for, and you'll be astounded at the amount of data that exists. There's something like 2 billion new insights being uploaded onto LinkedIn on a weekly basis. This includes job postings, content that's being uploaded by marketers, etc. So a good example when you think of this LinkedIn economic graph is, do you remember that CEO you shook hands with at halftime? Do you remember that employee that came up to you to shake hands? A great thing to do is to just leverage the information that exists on LinkedIn to do more research on that person. We talk with many athletes and they wish they had LinkedIn back in the day when they played, because yes, that CEO that they did meet at halftime would be really important to them now, maybe as an advisor or mentor or a potential business partner. You can begin to use LinkedIn and the data that we have to start building those meaningful relationships and saving them, just as you would a contact list in your phone. So let's go to the next slide and we'll have Zach overview the Rockstar profile.
So I completely understand when logging on to LinkedIn, it can be a bit overwhelming. You're like, hey, what's going on over here? What's going on over here? What does it look like to build a profile? I remember when I first got on LinkedIn and I was trying to, create the best summary, trying to figure out what my right headline is. What skills should I add? Experience. What does that even mean? Right. So essentially this is going to be your brand. This is going to be your personal page on LinkedIn. So as Sebastian mentioned, when you do meet that CEO at halftime and you do shake that hand, what's next? How can they find you? Right. Also, when you're on the platform and you may want to reach out to an alumni from your university, what's the first thing that they're going to do? They're going to come to your page. They're going to check out, hey, who's this guy that's reaching out to me? Oh, I remember this guy. What is he doing now? Right. So this is going to be your professional representation on the LinkedIn platform. So, and to be completely frank, I don't know what the setup is now, but if you do have your computer open, feel free to follow along with me as we walk through building a profile on LinkedIn. I want this to be interactive, and I'm sure this will generate a lot of questions as we go and walk through it together. So feel free to pop those in the chat, and those are things we can address during the back half, during the Q&A session. So where it starts in building a LinkedIn profile, and I know some of these things might seem super simple, but we truly want to start from the top and making sure that we're building out our profile as clean, as prestige as we are, right? So when we start with a headshot, all we're looking for is a professional headshot, clean, big smile, let everyone know who you are, welcome them to your page, right? The headline. This is the first thing that people are going to see on LinkedIn when they do come to your page, or even if you're posting on the homepage of LinkedIn, you're posting content. If someone searches you, this is what will pop up under your name. So this can be interesting and it can get a little creative, right? So let's say if you're a current athlete, you could say, I am a current NFL player for XYZ team. I'm a current NFL player at Washington football team. If you're a former player, you can say former player at Atlanta Falcons, right? In the part where it can get creative is you're letting people know what you might be interested in. And again, right, the entire point of this conversation is we are a former NFL player and we are also this. We've transitioned from our career on the field to our career off the field. So let's see, what audience do we want to cater to? I am a former NFL player from the Atlanta Falcons, interested in fintech, interested in entrepreneurship, interested in investment management, so that anytime someone sees your page, sees your name, or anytime you reach out to someone, they know, hey, this guy is interested in this. This is something I can help, or this might generate my mind to go in a couple of different directions of, I know someone that can help them. And that's how we're starting to generate the engagement and the network experience on LinkedIn. So that's headline. Education, straightforward. This is where we're going in and we're putting our university. We're also putting our high school as well. So we can start to tap into the alumni networks of those universities and of that high school. Under there, it'll have a description block where you can talk about your experiences. So if you were involved in any professional organizations, right? And it doesn't even have to be necessarily educational experiences. It can be your experience on the football field at those universities. Talk to your experience in the locker room. How did you lead? You were a captain. What else were you involved in? What other volunteer experiences did you involve yourself in while you were at that university or within that high school? Experience. This is where we're putting our experience as NFL players. If we were on the boards of any organizations, this is where we're allowing, essentially, this is our resume, right? So I'll take the example of former wide receiver for the Atlanta Falcons. What we'll want to do under experience, we can go in company, type in Atlanta Falcons. We can, in the description or job title, we can do, or excuse me, specifically job title, we can do former wide receiver. We can do athlete, right? And then in the description itself, again, it comes back to similar what I was speaking about under the education. Speak about your experiences within the team. How did you lead? What were you involved in? What were some of your favorite moments within that team? Allow someone to get that visibility to get to know you as well. And I know I'm speaking to a majority of former players as well. So if you have involved yourself in anything post-career, if you have worked for a specific company, if you did an internship, if you, I would even recommend if you have experience volunteering with the NFLPA, make sure you let that experience known, because that's going to give whoever's ever looking at your profile insight into what you've done and who you are. Skills. As I mentioned, to open up the conversation. So I work with a lot of recruiters and a lot of business owners who specifically work for talent, but in the same sense, it's individuals that are leveraging the platform of LinkedIn to find people or to review people that may reach out to them, right? So why skills is so important is because if you are someone that's interested in fintech and immersing yourself into that field, that individual that's reviewing your profile may check out, what skills does this individual have, right? Or maybe what they don't have. And to that point of maybe not having a particular skill, but wanting to immerse yourself in that field, there's other opportunities on the platform that you can leverage to go to learn more about that through our LinkedIn Learning platform. And I'll hand it over to Sebastian, as that's more of his expertise.
Yeah, simply put, skills are on your LinkedIn profile so people can find you. You're a business owner and you're looking for somebody that has leadership skills, PowerPoint, Microsoft Word, and CRM or SFDC hygiene skills. If you're trying to find that person on LinkedIn out of the 800 million people that are on there, you can search for those 4 skills in the city that you're in, and it will share that profile with you. So if your skills are updated to who you are as a person, the skills that you maintain, the better it is for these recruiters to search for you. What we've done in order to help people find more skills or build their own skill set is we acquired a company called Lynda. And I don't know if you all have heard of LinkedIn Learning. LinkedIn Learning is a platform. It's a subscription that we offer on LinkedIn. Type it in Google. We have 16,000 courses on there. Think of YouTube or YouTube Premium, but all professional skills led by industry leaders, CEOs, and professors. So it's an online learning platform, and it's available to you. Type in any skill you want to learn there, even if it's how to set up lighting in a studio, and there's a course for it. So you can actually take these courses and add these skills to your LinkedIn profile. It's a cool way to download certificates and gain certificates for yourself. That would all be under the skill section. Type in LinkedIn Learning in Google. Then Zach, you want to review summary at the end?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is really tying it all together, the summary. And this can be the trickiest part of a profile, right? So we went over our headshot, what that should look like. Clean, big smile, if you prefer to do so, right? Welcoming someone to your page. Our headline, this is letting someone know, hey, this is who we are. This is where we come from in terms of our experience, as well as what we might be looking to brand ourselves as. Education, again, as I touched on, this is going to be our university and our high school as well, to really tap into that alumni network, as well as to feel that sense of camaraderie with that university or high school. And then next was experience. This is the teams that we might have played for. This is our leadership opportunities. This is what we've done off the field with these specific organizations. Number one, to share who we are, to share that resume that we've built, that we've worked so hard for, and truly show how transferable some of those opportunities and those experiences are into that next play, into a career either off the field or into a new venture as well. Skills, as Sebastian mentioned, this is highlighting our skills on LinkedIn. We can leverage our tools like LinkedIn Learning to learn more skills, or maybe this is something we want to tap into a new venture, new industry. This is how we're going to do so. Summary. Summary can be tricky because it's truly your blank canvas, right? And you're like, hey, what do I go in and type in the summary? I like to keep it pretty simple when I work, whether it's athletes, whether it's students, whether it's people who have been in their career for 30 years. I like to keep it very simple. Paragraph one, I like to say maybe anywhere in between 4 to 6 sentences. This is where you just want to highlight what you're currently doing. So, for example, on my profile, I speak a little bit about what my current role is at LinkedIn, how I'm an account executive, how I sell specifically to search and staffing firms, and help them identify, place talent, as well as grow their business in alignment with their business objectives. Second paragraph, 4 to 6 sentences again, maybe 3 to 6. You know, we don't want people to come to our profile and have to read an entire novel, right? And most people probably won't do that if we're being honest. So the second paragraph, I'd like to speak about what you've previously done. So, or what you were doing as an extracurricular or as a side project, right? So on my profile, I speak about how I enjoy inspirational speaking. That's something I've involved myself in over the years, as well as helping athletes on board to LinkedIn and help them understand the power of the platform as well. And then the third, I really focus on, this can be anywhere from 2 to 5 sentences. This is where I would recommend focusing on your interests or your passions or what you're looking to accomplish, if that is a new industry or a new venture that you're looking to venture into. So as in terms of my interests that I like to speak about, again, it comes back to inspirational speaking, sports partnerships, entrepreneurship, social justice as well. This truly allows people to come to your profile, and as they're reading top to bottom, they understand, okay, this is Zach. This is what he does at LinkedIn. This is the university that he came from. This, and then get down to the summary. This is what he's currently doing. Okay, cool. Well, outside of his current role, outside of the 9 to 5, what are they currently interested in, or what have they previously done? And they get a sense of the type of individual that you are. And then that third paragraph, I believe, is so powerful and impactful because it helps you or helps that individual who's on your page understand where you want to go, right? Because if we think about the entire experience of LinkedIn, let's say someone's looking at you from let's say inbound perspective. So what I mean by that is if you're looking for a new opportunity, you're looking for a role, looking for a partnership or sponsorship, and that decision maker, let's say, a VP at whatever company, comes to your profile and is looking to either recruit you to work there or as a sponsor. They're seeing this individual is interested in XYZ from this third paragraph. And it allows them to say, okay, I see that. I read that. They wrote this. I can help them, right? Or it says, I know someone that this individual would be the perfect fit for, all because you're speaking to your interests, you're speaking to your experiences, you're speaking to where you want to go, right? And then let's think about the active outreach from our perspective. So putting myself in your shoes. If we're going out and we're doing outbound, so we're reaching out to other individuals and decision makers that we want to speak with, tying it back into that CEO that we shook hands with at halftime. And it could be 4 or 5 years ago, right? You can even say, hey, the CEO I shook hands with at halftime. Do you remember me? Shoot them a little note, right? Or a connection request. And then that's when that person can come to your profile and say, okay, from that third paragraph, I know exactly why they're reaching out to me and I'm open to a conversation. So in summation, from building out a strong profile on LinkedIn, I know it can be a little bit overwhelming at first, but it's something I would 100,000% recommend investing your time in. And this is truly where I've worked with tons of athletes in the past, onboarding them to LinkedIn. And this is where we truly see the brand impact of LinkedIn, because again, as you start to post and engage with the platform, that's when people are going to come to your page, they're going to follow you, and they're going to start to engage with you from a professional standpoint as well. And in that same vein, I'll pass it back to Sebastian for some powerful use cases that we've seen from the engagement from athletes on LinkedIn, as well as building out that strong profile.
Awesome. Real quick, Nolan asked, what's a profile turnoff for recruiters? The biggest one is a profile that's not filled out. It's like looking at a resume that has a line, a couple lines blank or whatever. Another stat, your profile is 10 times more likely to get viewed if there's a profile photo. So if you don't have a photo on your profile, upload one immediately. Some people, a lot of athletes, former athletes, treat LinkedIn like Instagram or Twitter. And again, it's about building your brand in a way at this point. So how do you attract more people to your profile? Maybe there's something slick you want to add as your profile photo. Maybe it has a little bit more color in it to separate itself from the millions of other profiles that exist on LinkedIn. So it doesn't need to be, a suit and tie, button up. It could be just showing who you are as a person, but make sure you add your profile photo. That was a great question. And then
real
Ron,
quick, Sebastian.
Question. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, real quick, Sebastian. You reminded me something too. Even behind the headshot, so you are more likely to be viewed. Your profile is more likely to be viewed with a profile picture. There's also the headline, the banner behind that as well. And I know that can sometimes be confusing or throw people off. It's like, hey, what do I throw here? What do I put in this banner? I personally like to recommend just something you're interested in. Like, is it a picture of the football field from your university? Is that a special place to you? It could be a picture of you at the last summer getaway conference, right, down in Miami. I wish I could have that picture, but maybe next year, right? So I just say make that banner something special to you.
Awesome. So let's go to the last slide, and then Bon, I'll get to your question. But we'll just talk about a couple best practices and examples of how athletes are using LinkedIn. And maybe this is where your questions really come up. Again, how should you be using LinkedIn? Most former athletes are using it to connect with former teammates. Again, this is why it's important to add your previous team or organization that you work for on your profile so you can easily search for those people. In the search bar on your LinkedIn profile, you can simply put Atlanta Falcons, click search, and it'll show you all the people that work for that organization, both past and current. Another great reason to be using LinkedIn is to build your brand. I work a lot with athletes on the platform. A lot of the former athletes are writing books. I'm finding it's a trend right now, like, being a part of podcasts or writing books. Building your brand is great because people can follow you on LinkedIn just as they do on Instagram. So a quick thing to do would be to go to your settings. You can even type this in Google, how to change LinkedIn profile from connect with me to follow me. That way you can start to build your following on the platform. Instead of getting 1,000 connection requests every week, you just get 1,000 followers. And that way, every time you post, those people will see the content that you're sharing. You can become a brand or an influencer that way. Other powerful use cases, obviously landing a job, sharing your voice, right? Posting content. It's important to post like a high frequency. I'd say every single week, if not every other day. I'm posting once a week now, and I've seen my following skyrocket on LinkedIn just because there's not enough people posting content on there. But we're turning into a marketing and content hub. And then Zach touched on this quite a bit, is to find key decision makers, right? Whatever role you're in today, LinkedIn is a place that has the highest number of purchase influencers, more than Instagram, more than Facebook, more than Twitter. And what that means is that there's more director plus level roles that exist and are active on LinkedIn than any other platform. If you're a director level plus at your company, you probably have purchasing power. So you can target these people and build relationships with director level plus people to help influence the purchase of your product. Another example of a powerful use case that we help a lot of athletes with is serving with nonprofits. An example of this is my brother. He played for the Panthers for 7 seasons, and he was looking for a way to get involved once he retired with nonprofits in his area. He was in Charlotte. He was done playing football. He didn't really know what to do with his time. And he used LinkedIn to search for nonprofits in Charlotte and message some of the directors. Literally within a week, he started a conversation with the nonprofit, and he became part of their board. And he served going to help underserved high school athletes, and he was in weekly meetings with them, and that's something he still continues to contribute to this day. I mentioned the book idea. A lot of people are posting marketing collateral about the books that they're writing or the podcasts that they're on LinkedIn. The more content they're posting about that, it's going to receive engagement. So that's another big strategy or powerful use case. Zach, was there anything top of mind for you that you wanted to share here?
In that same vein of Sebastian, you mentioned your brother used to play for the Panthers, and he ended his career, and he wanted to look into other areas and other opportunities that he was interested in, like nonprofits. I worked with an NBA athlete not too long ago, maybe about a year ago, when COVID hit and the NBA went on pause. And he reached out because he wanted to start sharing his podcast content on LinkedIn. And, one of the questions from his agent that I worked with was, why share it on LinkedIn as opposed to any other platform, right? So he was speaking to founders and entrepreneurs about how they started their company and some of the challenges and the life of an entrepreneur, essentially. And the reason being we want to post that on LinkedIn is that, think about who's on LinkedIn. Think about the audience. From a, marketing perspective, number one, they're in that professional mindset, right? So if I'm on a podcast and I'm interviewing someone that, let's go back to the fintech example, that's going to start to engage with other individuals, other decision makers who are also in fintech, who may want to reach out to myself as a host of that podcast and a competitive athlete to start conversation. Whatever that conversation could lead to, it could lead to a job. It could lead to coming to sit on a board meeting. It could come to being on the board, right? I think that's a powerful use case of why we want to leverage LinkedIn from a branding perspective as well.
Or I'm a sponsor of podcasts, and I listened to the podcast that you just shared, and I want to sponsor it, right? I'm in that business mindset. And maybe this is where I find the opportunity to sponsor people, right? We see these sort of opportunities popping up on LinkedIn every day. I don't have anything else to share here, but I'm happy to hop into questions. Was there anything else, Zach?
I just have one last one, too, from actually a couple of weeks ago. A friend of mine who's an athlete was in the New York City area. And he mentioned, hey, like, this is why I love New York, because when I come here, I can bang out multiple different events, multiple different meetings as well, back to back to back to back, right? And that's essentially what LinkedIn allows you to do on a virtual basis, right? Like, you don't necessarily, and we've learned this in the past year in a virtual environment, you don't necessarily need to be in person to have these meetings, right? To shake these hands, to make these connections. That's where LinkedIn is going to serve as that powerful platform where you can start to reach out to these individuals and stay connected with them on a virtual basis, as well as, reach out and they can reach out to you. You can have multiple meetings a day. Maybe it doesn't look like in person, but maybe it looks like over Zoom. And if you are going to a certain city, that's something cool. I mean, as a former athlete, your name carries weight. You can even go on LinkedIn and make a post about, hey, I'm going to be in the San Francisco Bay area, and I'm looking forward to meeting with, you can at an individual, you can at a certain company, obviously, at your discretion. And that's going to start engagement. That's going to start speculation. Other individuals from that industry, from that city might see that post and say, like, this former player is here. I know he's looking to get involved in this industry. We'll keep coming back to fintech. I don't know why it's on my mind, but it is. I'm looking to get involved in, I know he's looking to get involved in this industry. He's in the city. Let me reach out via LinkedIn and let's start a conversation. Maybe we meet up for some coffee, right? So that engagement with the platform can truly go a long way, both from a virtual standpoint, as well as, having an opportunity to potentially meet with a decision maker or someone of interest, or someone within your network in person as well. But as Sebastian said, I think that's all we got. And would love to dive into questions, Sebastian, if you want to man that one.
Yeah, Vaughn said a lot of the skills are similar on a LinkedIn profile, right? One might be business development, while another skill might be B2B sales. Just think of this as, what skill do you want most on your LinkedIn profile? Like, are you looking for a job? Are you looking to invest in companies, right? What are you looking for specifically? And the good part about LinkedIn is other people can nominate you for that skill. So whatever skill you want at the top of, your skill set on your profile, just have that on there. You can nominate yourself, so you can add business development and put it at the top of your skill so that more people nominate that as your best skill. Maybe it's angel investing, maybe it's public speaking, right? And if you have public speaking at the top, and that's what your endeavor is, more people can just nominate you with that skill. And employers or people looking for people on LinkedIn with the public speaking skill, they'll be able to find you by the number of nominations that you have. So I know that, again, there's thousands of skills that we have on a LinkedIn profile, business development and B2B sales being a few of them. Just focus on what you want to be nominated for, what you want people to know you by. Zach Nolan asked, should it, oh, my bad, go ahead.
Additionally, I was just going to jump in on that last question. As I mentioned prior, I work specifically with people who are in the talent space. So recruiters, things of that nature. I coach them on how to recruit and search on LinkedIn. Ultimately, look, they're probably looking at your job title. They're looking at the specific location that you're in as well. And then again, they're looking at skills, right? So I think there's multiple paths to get to the destination. So you could put business development, but you could also put B2B sales. That is a little bit more specific, depending on what you're looking to accomplish. Is it a sales role that you're looking to apply for or get a job working for? So sales role could look like B2B or B2C. So I would just evaluate what that ultimate goal is and then almost reverse engineer it to, hey, what skills are necessary for that position?
Awesome. Nolan asked, should it be a football photo on your profile? Again, like, what are you trying to attract, I guess, to you? Do you want people to see you as a current football player, or do you want them to see your past photo from you, and you just want them to come to, like, at the end of the day, people will come to your page more when they see your football photo, I think. And again, it's separating yourself from 800 million people, right? People are just scrolling on LinkedIn on their phone or on the website, and they're seeing like dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of photos every day until they see, like, your football photo with your arms crossed like this, and they're like, wait, this guy, did he play for Cleveland? Did he play for the Eagles? And that little thought while I'm scrolling is what gets people to come to your page, right? So if you think of it from like marketing and branding of just wanting to attract people to your page so that you might be able to introduce them to your podcast or your company or your service, maybe that is the way to go, right? It is a little hack. So personally, I think if you're a current athlete, you should have your football photo on there. If you're a former athlete, and depending on what you're trying to give off to people, you shouldn't. Ziz, can you speak to sharing content as a thought leader? Excellent question. And to get straight to it, I mentioned this before. Content on LinkedIn is not saturated. That means that LinkedIn is going to push those who are posting content on LinkedIn to the top of the newsfeed more, because there's not enough content. There's 800 million people that keep coming back to the site, but there's not enough content to grab. So posting as a thought leader would mean post consistently on the topic that you want thought leadership around. Personally, I talk about sports on LinkedIn, nonprofits on LinkedIn, and diversity and inclusion. Those three topics I post about every single week. And again, the law of attraction, people can search for hashtags on LinkedIn just as they do Instagram, and they're finding me. More than that, LinkedIn is keeping my content at the top of the newsfeed because I post often. If it's a video or a photo, it's definitely going to last a lot longer. And I'm going to get the like, I'm going to get the comment or the reshare. So if you're looking to become a thought leader, look inside. What service are you looking to give, and post about that topic, just as you would on Instagram. Again, Zach mentioned this, but people come to LinkedIn with a professional mindset. They're not on there really to be entertained. It's more so about, am I looking to make a purchase decision? Am I looking to find a new job? Am I looking to network with somebody? And with that sort of mindset is how you should post content on the site, right? And again, it's about the service that you're looking to give, the opportunity you're looking to create. Anything real quick, Zach, on that I missed when it comes to posting content, being a thought leader?
No, I think you're exactly right. Every day, every other day, once a week, just set that goal for yourself. I mean, I can attest to it. I need to be better with it, to be completely frank with you. But I know Sebastian's great at it. I see this man's content on my page every time I log in. So,
how important is LinkedIn Premium? I think it's extremely important. It's $50 a month or something like that now. And LinkedIn Premium originally started as a way for you to contact recruiters. That's how it started way back in the day. Our product team said, hey, there are a ton of LinkedIn members. Let's give them access to reach out to recruiters, and not just recruiters reach out to them. We grew LinkedIn Premium to include dozens of features now. Another great feature of LinkedIn Premium is that it provides you with a LinkedIn Learning subscription for free. Again, LinkedIn Learning provides you with access to 16,000 courses where you can learn new skills, download certificates in those skills. So, I mean, just that alone, I would say is a huge asset to having Premium. Something else I think that's really cool is that you can see who viewed your profile. It's kind of like professional stalking in a way. A lot of people like it, but most times when you're on LinkedIn, it'll say, hey, salesperson at Google looked at your profile, or CEO at a tech company looked at your profile. If you have premium, you can see exactly who that person is. You can see their profile. So that's another cool feature. Anything that I missed with premium, I think I said it. You can message people more using premium. You get access to LinkedIn Learning. You can see who viewed your profile, and then you can message recruiters if you need to.
Yep. I think that LinkedIn Learning is the key piece right there. Tapping into different content, tap into different skills, as we spoke heavily about as well. And then from the aspect of seeing who can view your profile, just getting a sense of, hey, what audience am I catering to? From the content that I'm posting, right. Am I hitting my target audience that I'd like to? And if not, what do I need to change? Right. So is that hashtagging something different? I'm in the recruiting space. I'm in the talent space. I'm probably hashtagging hiring, hashtag recruitment, hashtag jobs, things of that nature. Coming back to fintech, you want to cater to the people in fintech, hashtag fintech, right? Seeing who's coming to your profile. Are they that audience? What should I change to? And you can see how, when they viewed your profile too. So I almost imagine it from a sales perspective. Think of that as a warm lead. If you're running your own business and you've been looking to get in contact with someone forever, you send them a connection request, you send them a message, and you see they just recently viewed your profile, man, jump on that, shoot them a message again, say, hey, I saw you're checking out my profile. Would love to have a conversation about XYZ. Sebastian, I'll pass it over to you. Can you talk more about new services?
New services. And this might be, I guess they're talking about any new product features that are available. Here's a sneak peek. We're launching something called LinkedIn Creators. We mentioned this economic graph, right? The economic graph of LinkedIn shows how we're pacing to our goal. Our goal at LinkedIn, our mission is to create economic opportunity for every member of the global workforce. That's about 3 billion people. So how are we pacing? We're at 800 million people of that 3 billion goal. We have 35 million companies on there, right? So what other services are we creating or do we offer? The biggest one right now is just trying to include more workers from the gig economy, from the creator economy into the LinkedIn website. So if you're in that space of creating new content, we're launching a ton of new features, including stories, which someone mentioned here in a question. Stories is similar to Instagram, right? When you log on to Instagram or Facebook, there'll be a little bubble of somebody of one of your connections on the top. And it shows a live feed or a real time from that day video of what that person is doing, right? So we're taking a similar approach at LinkedIn. Our product team called it LinkedIn Stories. Again, this overlaps into our creators program that we launched. And it's about bringing the day-to-day activity of a professional to you. Currently, we're recording this video or sharing LinkedIn best practices to you. Maybe I'm just going to pick up my phone and do a quick little vlog for a second, right? Now I can post that vlog to my LinkedIn profile. Everybody who accesses or I'm connected to on LinkedIn will be able to access that video. So that's a new feature that popped up. I think it's huge. Again, we're trying to market to more people. If you take advantage of these features early, your name is going to be at the top of the news feed consistently. So use it. It's called LinkedIn Creators. If you want to search it in Google, that's a really cool feature. Any other services that you think stick out? Zach, I have one other if you don't.
I'll let you continue.
Yeah, if you're selling anything, use a subscription called LinkedIn Sales Navigator. If you're selling anything, it's called LinkedIn Sales Navigator. This gives you full access to search for anybody on LinkedIn by using filters. If you're selling shoes and you're looking for shoe store owners within a specific zip code, you'll be able to type in those filters, shoe store owner in Berkeley, California, and it'll give you a list of all of those people for you to reach out to. It'll also show you who in your network is already connected to those individuals, so you can just ask for a warm introduction. That's a big subscription, I would point out. It's called LinkedIn Sales Nav. I'm happy to tutor anybody on that if you want to reach out. And speaking of, I think we have about 30 seconds left. So I truly appreciate the opportunity to speak with everyone here. You see me and Zach's LinkedIn URLs up on your screen. You can search for me. I'm Sebastian Sam, or you can search for Zachary Joyner. Once you click that in the search bar, names will probably pop up. So feel free to connect with us, and I appreciate your time.